Hey, well tonight I'm angry at the CDC, and we've talked about the CDC a lot over the last year, but on Friday, just 3 days ago, the CDC released this report, and this was a report designed to show the effect of wearing masks. Some people had claimed that wearing masks actually hurt you. The CDC aimed to prove that they were wrong. What did the Mask Study actually show? Well, if you look at the actual details, you can see that they examined the period from March 1st through December 31st of last year, and they looked at the difference between the counties that had a mask mandate, which were 2,313, or almost 75% of US counties. They had state-issued mask mandates. Did they have a far better result in terms of illness? And if you look at the number of cases after 100 days, you can see that in the non-mask wearing states, they had a 1.8 percentage point increase in transmission in cases of the disease. And in terms of death, if you look at the results over the 100 days, it was a 1.9% increase in death. I'll point out to you that these rates are infinitesimal. We were expecting 19%, 190%, some kind of outrageous number, a high number, to justify all that's happened over the last year. And for those of you whose life has gone on as usual, most of us have been left destitute. Those of us who are renters are unable to pay the rent. Those of us who are landlords are unable to collect the rent. I don't know if the states are going to be able to collect their property taxes, but this just points to the fact that the CDC, far from being the scientific institution that we all should venerate, has displayed signs of failure over the last year. Here's another example. This is an article from October the 12th, and it talks about the fact that the federal government, or the NIH, or the CDC, it's hard to know if these three entities are the same anymore, but it shows that they made dramatic changes, illegal changes, that had the effect of boosting the number of deaths. And this is the data. For example, why would the CDC decide against using a system of data collection and reporting they authored, and which has been in use nationwide for 17 years without incident, in favor of an untested, unproven system, exclusively for COVID-19? Did the CDC's decision to abandon a known and proven effective system also breach several federal laws, ensuring data accuracy and integrity? Did they knowingly alter the rules for reporting the cause of death in the presence of comorbidity, exclusively to say that it was a COVID-19 mortality or not? Did they? Is the CDC trustworthy? I'll point you to the study from almost a year ago, which illustrates the fact that this problem has been ongoing for quite some time. This is from The Atlantic, which is hardly a conservative journal, and they point out that the CDC made a vital mistake. They conflated viral and antibody tests, and what that means is the difference between the two tests is one tests if you have the disease, and the other tests if you had the disease. Two very different tests, and yet the CDC has been conflating the two, confusing the two, reporting the two together. So much so that this individual, Ashish Jha, the professor of global health at Harvard and director of the Harvard Global Health Institute, when told what the CDC was doing, said, "You've got to be kidding me. How could the CDC make that mistake? This is a mess." And it is a mess. And unfortunately, we are the ones paying for it. The CDC, prior to this pandemic, had a sterling reputation. Their word was gospel. No one doubted them. We considered them a world standard. Their flip-flopping on masks, their attempts to exaggerate the effects of COVID-19. I mean, the second study, and I obviously will link to all of these studies in the notes below, but the second study seemed to indicate that the CDC has inflated the COVID-19 mortality numbers by 1,600%. We seem unable to find out the facts, whether it concerns the CDC, whether it concerns government malfeasance, whether it concerns corporate malfeasance. These subjects seem to be hidden from us now, and there seems to be a media groundswell determined to make sure that we never find out what the truth is. This mask study from the CDC, which seems to show that masks have barely any effect at all, the CDC has betrayed our trust. If you look back at the medical posts that we've made in the year that this channel's been in existence, you can see that we started out without an opinion on the CDC. We consider them a gold standard research institution. The events of the last year have proven that belief to be very wrong. Please join me in waking up.